Hey guys, Cassie here. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am doing a video that I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm really excited to share it with you all. So today we're going to be talking about how to support authors. This is a question that I feel like I get a lot from various people in various forms. Like I get people who ask me, where should I buy your book? Should I buy it through Amazon, or do you have copies? What would be the best way to get it that would give you the most profit? Or some people maybe don't really care between an ebook or a paperback, so they ask me, which one do you get more money from? I'll get that one. So people out there want to support authors. If you have a friend or family member who is an author, you want to do what you can to support them. And sometimes, oh, I hit my microphone cord there, sorry. Sometimes you just don't really know what it is that you can do to support authors. And it's interesting because as an author, I'm always learning new ways that, oh, if people look up your book this way, or if they leave a review here or do this, then it's really good for you. But it's like kind of awkward to ask people for that much. Instead of, like, I want to just give people my book, say, hey, buy my book, and I hope you enjoy it, and leave the rest up to them. But if you are the kind of person who wants to go above and beyond and support authors in more ways than just buying their books, this is the video for you. I'm gonna tell you some information on how you can do that. So let's get into it. Number one is the most obvious, and that is buy their books and actually read them. Now, obviously, not all authors are going to be writing books that you will be interested in, which is why some of the tips that are on this list are actually things that you can do, even if you're not particularly interested in the genre that your author friend is writing in. Because I know I have a lot of author friends who write books that just aren't really my thing, and I still want to support them in some way, but I'm not really interested in reading their book, and that's okay. We'll get to some other things that you can do. But for this first tip, it's the obvious. Buy their books and read them. And don't ask authors for free copies of their books. I've had people do that, and like it's not, I don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings, or like I don't want anyone to feel bad, like, oh, did I do that? I wish I wouldn't have. I hope I didn't upset her. I'm not like upset by it. But, you know, I did work really hard on making this book for a long time, and I'm really not great at like marketing myself, and I feel bad about asking people for money for something, even though it's like I'm providing like something for you that I worked really hard to make, so I should get paid for that, but I still feel awkward about it. So if people like are trying to get a free copy out of me, like I'm gonna feel almost obligated to do that. And like authors shouldn't feel that way, but oftentimes we do. So if you want to support your author friend, just don't even ask, just buy it. Buy their book. They're not very expensive, probably. And if you want something cheaper, ebooks are almost always cheaper. So go that route. Tip number two, if you did buy their book and you read it and you enjoyed it, tell them in a very specific language all of the things that you loved about the book. I cannot stress this point enough. This is everything to me. When I get a text from a friend who just finished my book and they're like, oh my gosh, I loved this. Like, I mean, that alone is already great, but if you go above and beyond and tell me all the things you loved about it and why you enjoyed it, that is just like gold to me. It is such a like hug. You're like hugging my heart when you do that. It's everything. That's what I want from writing these books. I write them because I like writing and I want to create stories for myself and for others to enjoy. But a big part of writing is that I want you guys to enjoy the things that I write. So if you do enjoy it, please tell me. Especially because we authors are also a like anxious bunch of people. We get worried all the time that we're not good enough and that we're terrible writers. And even if we just wrote like a book that has like 50,000 5-star reviews, we're still gonna be like, I don't know, should I write another book, or is that like, I just did really good with that one, but I'm never gonna do good at writing again. I'm never gonna do good at writing again. See, that is the kind of thing that makes us worry about our skills. But the point is, telling your author friends what you liked about their book is incredibly helpful, not just immediately to like make them feel good, but also in the future when maybe a year down the road they're writing another book and they're feeling really discouraged, and then they open up their nice things folder, which authors, I'm talking to you, do you have a nice things folder? Because you should. I have a folder full of nice things that people say to me about my writing, or just about myself in general, if people like send me a word of encouragement. That way, on days when I'm feeling like crap about myself for whatever reason, I can go pull up that folder and be like, oh yeah, I don't suck at everything. Thanks for that. So your words of encouragement can be helpful to writers for forever, for the rest of their lives. Like, words have a lot of power, and we love to hear all the things that you loved about our stories. It means so much to us. Please tell us. And another thing I'll add to this for anyone out there who isn't a writer and maybe doesn't know how this feels, I know for myself personally, I'm just speaking for myself here, not everyone, but I don't like soliciting compliments. Like, if I know someone's reading my book, I will probably never ask them, so did you finish the book? What did you think? Because I pretty much, if I know someone's reading my book and they never say anything to me about it, I will assume that you didn't like it because that's just the way my brain works. Because I assume if you did like it, then you would say, hey, I liked your book, right? Like, that's what most people would say. So it's important to tell authors that you like their book if you read it and you enjoyed it, because otherwise we're probably going to assume the worst, and we might not ever ask you, because it's awkward to ask someone, did you like my book? Because what are you supposed to say to that if you didn't? Like, you're really put on the spot there. So anyway, point is, if you read the book and you like it, tell them. Tip number 3 might go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Spread the word about their books. That can be on social media. You can repost the things that they post about their book release, or like promotional photos about their books or whatever. Or it can be in person, just anytime someone's talking about wanting a good book to read. Say, hey, have you thought about this one? This is what it's about. You should check it out. That really goes a long way. It's very helpful, and also just encouraging to hear as well. If I hear that someone's spreading the word about my book, that lets me know either they liked my book a lot and they want to, promote it to other people, or they just like me and they appreciate me and they want to support me in some way, which is also really encouraging. Tip number 4, write a positive review for their book on Amazon, Goodreads, and barnesandnoble.com. I'm pretty sure there are other websites out there that also have book reviews on them, but those are like the 3 main ones that people are going to be seeing if they're looking to pick up a book to read. Amazon is definitely, I would say, the most important, but Goodreads is pretty prominent as well. There's a lot of readers on Goodreads, and a lot of people flock to Goodreads to see what a book is about and what other people are saying about it, and if they think it's worth reading or not. So writing positive reviews for your author friends on those sites is definitely a huge help. And they don't even have to be 5-star reviews either. 4-star reviews are great. Nobody wants you, I don't want you to lie and give my book a 5-star review just because you know me personally. If you don't think it was a 5-star read, don't give it a 5-star review. But keep in mind that reviews are more helpful the more detailed they are. Obviously, you don't want to spoil the book or anything, but if you just say 5 stars, this was a great book, a lot of times people will kind of ignore those reviews because they might have been paid reviews, or fake reviews. So being detailed about what you liked about the book is more helpful than just saying something short. But either way, it's nice and helpful. So if all you can handle is saying that this was good, I liked it, that's better than nothing, so do that. Number 5, join their street team, release day blitz, or any other events surrounding the release day of their book. Help make sure that the celebration of the release of their book is full of fun and support and excitement. This is really just an important thing to support the authors in your life and make sure they know that even if you have no interest in reading their book, that you support them and you want to make sure that you recognize that writing a book is hard and it's a big accomplishment, and you want to help them celebrate their accomplishments. That's a good thing to do for all of your friends, no matter what they're celebrating. And also keep in mind that authors a lot of times spend a lot of time and also some money making fun games and prizes and giveaways and things like that for things like pre-orders and, you know, the release day, live streams, those kind of events. Like it costs them something to do that, and they're doing it because they want you guys to participate and have fun with it and maybe win some prizes and also help them celebrate. So if you can, it's a good idea to participate in those things. Number 6, sign up for their newsletter. Also, bonus points, follow them on social media. Newsletters are really important for authors to be able to get the word out about when they have upcoming books being released, and if you are part of their newsletter team, then you'll get all of that information first thing, and they'll be able to quickly know where to contact you if they need to inform you about something like that. So that's a great easy way to support authors. Number 7 is a 2-parter. First part is don't ask them for a free copy of their book, which I already went over. And the second part is to not ask them how much money they've made off of their book or how successful their book has been. Now, this is another one of those things that I want to tread lightly, because I know that most people who ask these questions totally don't mean anything offensive, and they mean well when they're asking. And I think sometimes, depending on your relationship with the author, sometimes it is okay to say like, oh, have you sold a lot of books or whatever, because you're curious and you want to know, you're hoping that the answer is yes. But my only point here to make is consider what it might feel like to the author if the answer is no. If they haven't sold any copies of their book, if they haven't made any money off of their book, if they haven't even broken even and they've spent more money to make the book than what they've made in return from people buying it, it kind of sucks to have people ask you, so have you sold a lot of copies of your book? Are you a best-selling author now? How's it going? Because you're like, no, and it's going terribly. Thanks for asking. So the thing is, if you have the kind of relationship with that author to where if they said, actually, it's really not going well, you would be able to handle that and have a conversation and be like, oh man, I'm really sorry. And like, if you're comfortable having that conversation with them, and you think they're comfortable enough with you to be able to say that, then sure, you can feel free to ask. But if you're like an acquaintance or not super close with the person, maybe just don't ask them if they've sold a lot of books, because if they haven't, then chances are they're probably just going to lie. Or, I mean, I don't even know. I've been asked this question before, and I will say that sometimes it's incredibly awkward because it's from people who I barely know, and I haven't sold a lot of books or whatever they're asking, like no, that hasn't actually gone well. And it's like, I'm just not, like, I don't want to talk to you, near stranger, about how poorly my book sales are going. You know, that's just awkward and uncomfortable, and it makes you feel insecure about what you're doing. And I will say from personal experience, there have been times when I'm trying to remind myself, hey, you write books for fun, and if not a lot of people buy them, that's okay. You can still, the people who did buy them really enjoyed them, and you made a story for them that they love. And, I'm telling these things to myself, and then I have someone ask, so you a best-selling author? How many books have you sold? And it's like, it just, all that self-encouragement comes crashing down, and I'm reminded, oh yeah, I haven't sold any books, and that sucks, So, not to say that you can't ever ask an author this question, but just be aware of the things that might be going on in their minds, and also be aware that the answer might not be positive, and that might be a little uncomfortable for them to answer if it's not positive. Number 8, ask your local library and bookstores about their books. The library is definitely an important one, because libraries pretty much, if you ask a library to order a book, you really want this book, and they don't have it, they probably will, because they have a budget built in to do that. Bookstores are a little different. They might not order the book just because you asked for it. But if you ask for it and then 10 other people come in and they're like, do you have this book? Then the bookstore might start to think, maybe we should have that book. What book is that? Maybe I should look into this, because a lot of people are asking for it. So it helps to talk to bookstore owners and librarians about your favorite author's books. Number 9, take pretty bookstagram pictures. For those of you who are not familiar with bookstagram, it's freaking awesome. So there are a bunch of people on Instagram who have accounts pretty much entirely dedicated to taking really pretty pictures of books. And I can tell you from experience of having someone send me a gorgeous picture of my book, it is so exciting to see your own book in a pretty bookstagram picture. So if you are someone who takes pictures of books and puts them on Instagram, or even if you're not, if you just have an Instagram and you want to try it out, take a pretty picture of their book and tag it with #bookstagram on Instagram, and maybe write a little review in the blurb about how much you enjoyed it or whatever, and link to, a spot to buy the book. Maybe that would be a good idea. Who knows? I do. It would be a good idea. You should do it. And finally, number 10 is to ask directly. If you really want to support the authors in your life and you don't know how would be the best way to do that, ask them. Because honestly, as an author, as I mentioned before, I'm constantly learning new little tips on how to make sure your book ranks better on Amazon and things like that. And it's not really something you want to talk too much about with your readers, because, when you're selling someone something creative, you don't want them to feel like you're only in it for the money or something. I'm not. I want you to enjoy the story I wrote. But there are some things that people could do that would help out a little bit in the money department or the sales department. There are just some little weird tips that authors might know that readers don't. For example, there are certain ways that if you find a book on Amazon by searching for a specific keyword related to the book instead of just searching for the book title. So let's say for my book, Broken Together, if you search new adult or new adult romance, and then you scroll through all the options and find my book and then buy it, that will help my book rank better than if you had just searched for the name and bought it that way. Don't ask me why this is. I don't know. But there are a lot of little things like that, little tricks to kind of help your book to succeed better and get better ranking on Amazon, which helps it to be more visible to more people on Amazon, which of course helps book sales. So basically, that's just an example to say that there are a bunch of little ways that authors know that they could help their books rank better or succeed more that they're probably not gonna just tell you, hey, if you're gonna buy my book, can you do it this way instead? Because it's just kind of awkward to talk about, honestly. So if you really wanna go above and beyond and help them out as much as you can, just ask them. Ask them what you can do to help them and make it clear that you're okay with like talking about the business stuff, like how can I help your book rank better as I'm purchasing it on Amazon? That's a perfectly appropriate question to ask your author friends. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. And if you are an author out there, feel free to share this with your friends and family, because it's a nice little like soft way of saying, hey guys, maybe you should check this out and do some of these things. I don't know, could be cool, could be fun. Which is kind of why I wanted to make this video, because it can be kind of awkward to talk about this, and I know people ask me sometimes how they can help me out, so now I can just direct them back here. Say, hey, check out this video. I laid it all out, all the ways that you can support your fellow author friends, and yeah, that's really all I have for you. Except the exciting news, which if you've been following me for a while, and especially for this past week of tons of videos, you will know that my book, Broken Together, which is right here, comes out tomorrow. Finally. It has been a long time coming. It's taken me quite a while to write this book, and I am just so excited that it's finally going to be out for you guys to read. A few of you have already read it with ARC copies and stuff, and I'm like, it's so exciting to hear all the positive feedback, but I can't wait for it to be available to everybody. If you'd like to purchase it, you can pre-order it now through Amazon, which I will link down below, but you can only pre-order the ebook. So if you want to order a paperback, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow, but it's one day. You can wait till tomorrow, okay? Come back tomorrow and do it then. I'm also going to be having a big live stream celebration here on my channel tomorrow, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll have more information about that in the description box as well. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys. This has been a crazy week full of so many videos. I hope you've enjoyed them all. If you missed those previous videos, you can always go back and check them out. There's a bunch of information about what Broken Together is about and all of the tropes and exciting things you can hope to see if you buy it. But this is gonna wrap up my week-long celebration of my book release. After tomorrow's live stream, I will be back to regularly scheduled videos every Tuesday. So thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the live stream where we can officially celebrate the release of my book. So exciting. I'll see you guys next time and have a great day. Bye.